I feel like it's time to talk about the king. We are ready to go
Yeah.
in and talk about Gilgamesh, the newest warrior coming to Smite. We'll be right back on the other side of this break.
Sup lunatics, I'm Z, and today we are diving into King of the Rock update show. Let's go right for the news about the new god, Gilgamesh.
Yeah, so Gilgamesh,
God slash
many people
human,
probably
I
know
should
this
say,
is
because
epic, his story, but he's a king.
is
he's a leader,
not a
he's also an
feel like a
adventurer.
kind of like a Cyrus,
is,
not a fuel god.
Starts off as this very kind of
Yeah,
self-righteous
let's hear it.
guy who's only invested in himself, and through encounters with his basically wrestling partner Enkidu, his friend, he learns humility, and through his adventuring, he starts to become friends and learn more about what it means to be a ruler. And upon Enkidu's death, he actually learns that mortality is a thing that he actually has to be a little worried about, and it humbles him. And he starts off from this kind of self-righteous king to this very fine and powerful ruler who cares for his people. And so we're kind of in the middle of that journey with him. In
Sorry,
the story
what the hell is this?
But yeah, he's
Weird
just one of those
condom.
like central figures in any whenever you're talking about like heroes' journeys or old epics.
Looks cool, but
he's,
at
like,
the time,
character to go to. He's like one of
looks
the first
kind of
ones that we
goofy.
had like written down. So
And wouldn't it like fall off or something? Is it glued to his beard?
And he isn't the
Or
first
what?
king to join the battleground. Ajax, talk to me a little bit about how we approached the theme and the visuals for Gilgamesh compared
were
to
people
some of the other
wearing
kings that we've introduced in Smite.
shit like that on their
Well,
beard?
Gilgamesh is special to us because he's our first.
I mean,
god from a
I know
new
people
region,
who
right?
wear
The
rings, but
Mesopotamian, Babylonian region,
like that
modern
thing,
day
oh,
Middle
he has
East,
similar thing on
which is really
the end of
interesting,
his
and there's
hair.
a lot of great historical
Like,
imagery.
this thing has to weight a lot,
specifically
right?
This civilization was known for carvings and stone
He looks
tablets
pretty cool,
of,
though.
imagery as well as written language, which is where the Epic of Gilgamesh comes from. When you say something is epic, it's because of the Epic of Gilgamesh. Like, that was the first epic, right? Which is just really exciting to have that level of history and story into Smite, which I know Pon went a little bit into his story, but then also now we have a completely new culture in Smite, which we're always happy to have, and we just wanted to make sure we use that reference and that location to influence his design, his jewelry, his decoration, and his style, and I think he just looks amazing.
He definitely looks amazing.
Yeah,
but I'm ready
he
to
looks
see
fucking
how he
dope,
dukes it
yeah.
out on the battleground. I believe we are ready to go
Badass.
in game. And as is tradition,
All
I will
right.
give on the reins to just do what it do and show us what Gilgamesh does really quick.
What is this freaking light? Okay, let's jump. Knockback. Okay, some kind of storm.
Oh my goodness, this is so dope.
So a lot of
Really, it's
happening.
the drop kick, right? That's too good.
The drop kick
bounce
is
off
so
the wall,
satisfying.
the alt
Oh
hits
my
you every
goodness.
time.
That is great. Oh my goodness. Well, now that we've kind of given everybody just a quick glimpse at what Gilgamesh can do.
Yeah, I like that he is
he's got
kicking.
A round shield.
It's not
just
enough,
kinda flashing
guys.
in his
Using some
inventory.
kicks.
Let's talk about the passive Epic of Gilgamesh, Pon. How did he get that round shield?
Yeah, so that's the Epic of Gilgamesh. You're going to actually adventure as Gilgamesh. You're going to have different things you have to do around the map. So the big thing here is at level 5, you'll get your first quest. These quests can be completed at any time throughout the game, but they have
Oh,
different
he has
requirements. The first
quests.
quest is visit location on the map. So you can see when I spawned here, it was here. This is mostly just because we're in like testing and I'm level 20 and I'm switch classing all the time. But what it'll do is when you hit level 5, it'll pick a location on the enemy side of the map that is close to kind of where you were when you hit level 5. So if you're in solo lane, it's going to be kind of around the enemy speed buff or the enemy harpies. If you're in dual lane as a support, it's going to be more around like the purple area.
Interesting.
But it's going to encourage you to go actually adventure into the enemy side of the base to find a location. If you successfully get there and walk over that beacon that was on the ground, you get a tier 1 item. So that's a reward for any of the quests.
Is this a random
Level
item?
10, you get a second quest, which is to... The first one was to adventure. The second quest is to conquer. You have to defeat half the enemy team rounded up in a single team fight. So if a big team fight erupts and 3 of the enemy team members die, whether you got the kill or assist, you will actually complete that quest and you'll get another reward for that, which is another random tier 1 item. So you can definitely... If you're willing to risk and try and like create these situations where you can get
that's kind of shit.
You can get quite a big reward for it.
I mean, tier 1 item
super dope and something
it
that we
isn't the
haven't done in
greatest,
Smite
honestly.
before.
Like tier 1 item,
what
it's
if I have a full
random.
inventory whenever I
I'm
get
not
to a
into
quest,
it.
What happens?
I mean,
The general rough value of a starter item is around 450 to 500 gold if you were just like sell it. So maybe you get an item and you're like, I'd rather finish my tier 3 than use this. You'd sell it for about 500. That's what we're going to give you if you have a full inventory. So that's the alternate reward if we can't put an item in your inventory.
Awesome, sounds great. All my MMO fans out there should get this really easy. Get the quest, complete the quest, get the loot, for sure. Gilgamesh getting some immediate value at level 5 and 10 from these quests that are involved with this passive. And
I like the idea, but if it's random item, I think it's kind of
the passive definitely plays off of that.
kind
He's
of
collecting
whack.
the
That's the
artifacts
tier 1
across the
item,
battleground.
random.
He's also got his Sunforged Scimitar.
But I guess
as
you
one of
have
the
4
artifacts that
options
he's
to
bringing
go
along with him.
with
His
this
iconic
tier 1
weapon.
item,
Talk
right?
to me
So
about ability 1.
it's not that bad.
Yeah, so Gilgamesh, when he
You might
adventures,
find
he
something
finds
useful.
all these artifacts throughout the story, and so this is an artifact that we've kind of imagined from the weaponry at the time, where he has this weapon that's forged in the sun, and as such, it ignites with the heat of the sun. So you can see here, you have these smoldering embers on the sword towards the bottom. When you activate your 1, they're going to ignite and erupt into fire, and you can see his whole weapon is now basically this giant torch.
Ooh, cool.
Enemies who are caught in this ignition take damage and are slowed, and Gilgamesh now deals damage to targets, some extra bonus.
I love it. I
equal
love
to
it. I
his
love
maximum
it.
health. So right now I believe it's.
I don't know,
about
I like
3.5%
gods
of his maximum
that
health. So
have
the more
fire
health you build,
abilities.
the more effective this action
One of my
becomes.
favorite god
And
is
you
Agni,
can see
so
here that as I keep attacking this Odin,
it is similar to
the
Agni
buff is
passive.
still on me. It's staying on me. It actually extends in duration the more successful you are. So if you activate this and you can keep attacking your target, you get to keep this buff for up to 12 seconds. So you can actually have this pretty much
Ooh,
indefinitely, and you can chain it into the
that is
cooldown, like activating
good.
again and getting it all refreshed.
I mean, it is like 64 additional.
And, I know since we're talking about
damage.
basic attacks, I'm not sure if Pon or AJ.
Yeah,
know,
like
I believe we
the
kept
base
some-
damage is
some new tech
76
that
and
we
it's
added
64 additional
for these
damage from
basic attacks
autos.
to help out.
Okay, I already see potential building
Yeah,
out
so you can
attack
see
base.
as
Little
as
bit.
I'm moving around. Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
Paul.
the basic attacks, a lot of our basic attacks have these like kind of forward animations, but to make sure that the characters can move in 8 directions and run, we sometimes have to do these 8-way splits essentially. And we lose a lot of that forward momentum, but the art team did a really good job here where they've done new tech here to keep some of that forward animation as you're doing these 8-way movements. So you'll notice this as you're playing, these attacks just feel super smooth and feel super responsive. And that's due to the art being able to convey that forward momentum while still allowing full 8-way control. And it's just really fun to play with.
There's a lot
Definitely,
of
yeah.
back-end tech art. Very
Right,
complex.
already see myself
There's a-
going
there's a
Berserker
subtle,
Shield solo Gilgamesh.
impact that you may
Maybe
feel
with
or
the
some of
soul
these
mannequins.
animations, you might notice it more than others, but we're really happy with how it's improved our gods animations, and we're going to be using it on future gods. So we're just really proud of our team for that. Even if maybe the lesser eye wouldn't spot it.
For sure, yeah. But yeah, these basics definitely look satisfying. But I have a feeling that Gilgamesh has an ability that's gonna feel even more satisfying.
I
than
actually
that.
don't love the
Let's talk about
sound of
drop
autos. I feel like if you're
Yeah,
doing
drop
fire
kick.
damage,
This is the one
you
that
should
everyone has,
have a
like,
sound
played
cue for
before
that.
and, like, nope, that was just
like a
cool.
burn,
What I did there
like
was just very
silence, like
good.
silent
Drop kick is what
burn.
you'd expect. It's a drop kick. You drop kick an area in front of you,
Okay.
and you send them flying. If they collide with a god or a wall, they'll stun. So you can see here. Oh, let me send cooldown back on. If I send this Odin into that other Odin, they both get stunned for the duration. So you can try and actually use this to hit multiple targets and stun
That
multiple
is
targets.
freaking
Or you
cool.
can just send them flying back to
I
your
like
team.
this.
You can send them into a wall to follow.
I like that you
one.
can collide
There's
with
a lot of stuff that you
other
can do
players
there.
and you can actually stun
and then
two
also
people.
You can see here that if I just don't hold W, it has built-in forward momentum. So not only does this just make the weight of the ability feel really high, but like it lets you follow up. So here, I actually am in better position now to follow up off that stun than I would be otherwise. So it just helps the flow of the ability.
Yeah, I definitely when you were showing us the kit earlier, this drop kick was definitely my favorite, and I love how we've just incorporated it into everything that we're doing. The trailer has a sick
It
drop
kind of
kick.
has a
I am so
long
ready
duration
to
of
hit people
winding up.
on the battleground.
I think it can
But,
be
let's
really
move
annoying
on
with
to,
CCs.
Hero's Advance, which is his 3 and going to be a movement ability for Gilgamesh.
Yep, so Hero's Advance is the main movement ability for Gilgamesh. He targets a ground location, and you can see it's quite a big area. It actually hits this whole area as well. But when you land, you have this field that gets created. Now, for allies outside of it, they'll see this as like a beacon of light. And as they run towards it, so you can see if I run out of here and start running towards it, I'll get some movement speed for running towards it. So this is your way as the warrior to jump into the middle of the enemy team and be like, hey teammates, we're fighting here right now. Everyone gets a boost of movement speed to get there. And then while they're inside of it, they get some of that movement speed, but they also get lifesteal equal to 10% plus a certain percentage of Gilgamesh's highest protection. So you can see a theme here. He wants to build health, he wants to build protection. He wants to be the frontline bruiser that's very hard to take down.
Okay, it depends
And for
on...
doing so, you get to provide some extra damage with your 1, as well as some extra lifesteal to your teammates with the aura from the food.
Okay. That's cool, actually.
Alright, that is Hero's Advance. Let's go ahead and talk about the ultimate ability for Gilgamesh.
It depends how much it scales.
So Shamash is...
With the protections and lifesteal, is it actually worth it to go for more tanky build than hybrid?
He calls upon Shamash to bind the demon with his winds, and so he's calling down the winds again here. It's a range deployable circle that creates essentially a ring of wind. Targets who are inside of it take initial damage and are slowed. They take some wind damage over time, and then you can see at the end there, if they're still in it, the winds kind of turn into these threads that end up binding them, rooting and crippling them if they stay inside of it, causing them to take extra damage. But that's not quite all. So let's see if I can get this
Alright, I mean,
off orbit.
it's quite long.
Oh, no, they don't want to behave. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it's quite long to be actually rooting people inside of it. Kind of like a Cthulhu too, but
We're gonna go over to the other lane, and I'm gonna spawn enemy
the longer duration, you know. Well, I think Circle is actually
also, his
bigger.
voice pack is great.
Yeah, I know.
I like how
It's
we
great.
took these abilities, you know, the drop kick and the way we did the kind of King of the Ring ultimate, and we even brought that into some of his animation. He has sort of a professional wrestler vibe you'll get from a few of his animations that helps with his kind of confidence and bravado as a king. But then he's very driven and very, you know, intentional and wise at the same time, which is just, I think, worked out really well.
Okay, the slow is actually sick.
Here you can see this wind wall. The outer wall is
So actually I'm taking it back,
heavy.
like holy shit, that's a big slow.
70% slow at
Big
maximum
fat
rate.
slow.
And if Gilgamesh attacks you while you're inside that area, so it's basically kind of like a ring, but it's a soft
I'm
ring
getting
with
out of
actually
it,
really
in my
long movement.
pain in the ass.
If Gilgamesh attacks you while you're inside that ring, the slow area of it, the ring will actually knock you back towards the center. And you can
Ooh.
obviously combine this with your drop kick to send them
Ooh.
back at you. So you get to bounce them off the other ring.
Ooh,
So
that's
Gilgamesh's whole game plan really is to
freaking
cast this on a team
cool.
and then use his attacks and damaging abilities to keep them inside that ring for as long as he can to make sure that they get bound by the winds of Shamash.
I like that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm loving the vibes here, like AJ was saying, the professional wrestler, like leaning towards those themes a little bit.
Brochacho.
Gilgamesh being, you know, astute but
Wrestling,
aggressive.
yes.
He's just all
I
about
like
business.
it.
He's here to fight you, you know, really straightforward. Talk to me a little bit about, you know, what we've been seeing in playtest in terms of playstyle and where Gilgamesh is, you know, kind of landing.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna be like more auto-attack based
so
character.
when it comes to playing him in Conquest, we've been playing him in.
There are
we tried
these
support,
freaking
we
stupid
tried solo,
walls.
and we tried jungle. Early on, his damage was very high, so he was doing really well in the jungle. But as we've tuned balance for him, he's really found his home in the solo lane. He's very effective at boxing out opponents in lane, really fighting for lane control, and just kind of trying to pressure out opponents with the drop kick, trying to send them back into the tower or send them away from the wave. The one, because of the way the cooldown works, where when you activate it, it goes on cooldown immediately. So as you're using the stim, you can be getting the cooldown available for it again to use it. It makes you a very effective boxer if they try to.
Holy
activate you.
shit, so you can
Expect to see
actually
Evol
have
in the
it.
soul lane, maybe a little bit of flex into the jungle role.
How many
But his
seconds it
support
got?
also has high
9?
potential because
So you
doing
have
this in
12
lane is
seconds
pretty
out attacking
devastating.
someone, so you have basically no cooldown for this ability.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I can only imagine.
Fuck?
Oh, that is
So
sick.
lots of different things to play with here.
We love the basic attack focus from him. We have, that's something that a warrior hasn't brought new to the game in a little while. It does give him some flex potential as well. Potentially he could be played in the jungle, but I think he does really well in the solo lane. If you
The
use
hell?
that leap, which has a really big hit area,
Whose kid is
you can
crying?
poke your enemy god and
No
then
kid's
group up
crying.
the minions really well with a 3-1 combo to just clear
Grown
the lane
men
really
are
effectively.
playing
And you're getting
games.
a lot of swings in, so you always have a lot of uptime on that scimitar. So he plays great in both roles, honestly. And he's just a very
No
fun
kids
god
allowed.
who does who just gets up in the mix. Really, that's
I
what
know.
warriors are really designed to do, and Gilgamesh does that very well.
Nice. Well, he will definitely
exciting
be
character.
jumping in head first in 8-4 to challenge Tiamat during the Rising Storm update on Conquest. Well, that just about does it for the kit, but of course
Yeah.
we want to show off, all
Sure
the
that he doesn't
recolors
actually
and take
have
a listen to the voice pack
something
for
like
Gilgamesh that we got
set
going on.
and
I believe the
Horus,
first recolor that we want to show off is the
the
standard
passive
recolor
that is
for
upgraded,
Gilgamesh,
when they
and
are
it's
actually
going
going
to be Crimson King, and
up
I love
against
the
each
card
other.
art, here. It is super dope. What do you think, AJ?
Yeah, color
love
is
it,
pretty
of course,
nice.
We had a lot of really cool colors for Gilgamesh. We had
His armor looks a little bit futuristic to me, doesn't it? For you guys, like,
magenta kind of color, which just it feels very royal.
looks like a
and
robot,
It fits the
a
king
robot, robotic a little bit.
Definitely. I believe we're going to be able to have a turnaround here for this recolor as well, as we get ready for
I
it.
think he's gonna look
Are
we
no
able to turn around
turnaround
freaking
for this
amazing
recolor?
on
map that we
legendary
pulled out
skill. Already calling it.
I didn't plan on it, but is there anything interesting that you wanted to show off? We
There's
might be
one
able to
more
hop
thing on
in.
the Conquest map that I forgot to show during the
It
Conquest
seems to be
update
pretty
section.
simple, but I
Let's
like
see
it.
if production
Pawn
can
is
get
still
I
us
like
in
it
the
because
action.
recently the
In the
gods
Conquest,
were
there we
Prelude
go.
for me.
pretty complex, like Tiamat.
Could you do that, Pawn?
And Danza isn't that complex,
We'll
but
see.
Tiamat for sure.
Go ahead and speed yourself out to the jungle anywhere. Go to the jungle.
There we go.
All right, so we have another new tech art feature along with Gilgamesh's animation smoothing. We also have new foliage, invisible foliage tech. So
Oh
if you
yes,
activate your
totally
ultimate,
forgot to bring this up.
the trees will disappear around you, and as you get closer to the trees that are going to be in your ultimate's range, they will start to dissolve away.
Oh, that's
So no longer will
good.
players be able to hide in fear under the trees while you chase them down. This works off of the god's height. So any god that raises into a height,
That's actually
above
nice
the
quality
trees
life of
will
change.
give them
I like it.
a vision radius, and if the higher they go, the larger it goes. So
What those are
you can't really notice
freaking.
this as much with Thor because you can't.
What
move
the
at
hell
the
was
same
that
time,
on
but
the
when you go
on
up there as
the,
Thor,
on the tower?
all of the trees within your targeting area will be invisible, and you'll be able to see the ground and be able to dunk down onto them.
Like the
Gods
freaking
like Thanatos
blah,
and
blah,
also
blah.
could also appreciate
think
it.
that
We're gonna
it's
also even continue
flies.
looking to tweak the fine-tune
How is
this
it the
to maybe even
plant
affect
called?
gods
I
at
remember.
lower heights, like Cthulhu just walking around, right? But that's not
Yeah,
currently
those are
in
those
this update.
freaking
This update is only, like,
creepy
the
ass
ultimate
plants.
above height. But
Yeah,
that's
those
a
only,
really big
not
feature. I
only
know
it's
players
plants, I
are really
think
asking for
those
it.
also
Since
eat
Most
8.1,
definitely.
lizards
I
and
think
shit.
that global alts
Small
are really, really
lizards.
strong, and visibility and being able
Don't
to
quote
hide
me on
behind
that.
rocks and things should be a part of mechanic of the game.
Citation needed.
But the trees were maybe just pushing that into the frustration territory and not the balance territory. So we went ahead and added this feature. So big shout outs to our tech art team. Along with that Gilgamesh animation tech, they also came up with this one, and it's just beautiful. So
I know.
Alright,
Definitely
enough
shout
of
outs to
that.
the team, and
Let's
just
show
another
us
way,
freaking
we're incorporating
legendary
that
skill
community
already, and we
feedback
are
in
over here.
to the Conquest map, and it's just changing, visually and on the tech side as well, which is awesome. But I got word
Yeah.
from production that we do have the Crimson King turnaround ready to show off, so we'll
Finally.
be able to see that
Nice.
super cool model here for the standard recolor. There we go. This is Crimson King Gilgamesh. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack before we start talking about the other recolors and the master.
Okay, I'm curious actually how he sounds.
Fresh land ready for a strong adventurer. I wonder what I shall find here.
That's dope. And Pawn, you hit the nail right on the head. That voice pack is sick. I love the tie into the passive and, you know, him adventuring around and finding these artifacts. And
Kind of expected him having like a little bit
recolor that we have that we
stronger voice, you know,
the season pass 2021
deeper.
recolor. We've got
But it's
Ascended
okay, I
Gilgamesh,
guess.
Going to be coming up here. So if you've picked up that season pass 2021, you'll be able to unlock this limited recolor as soon as Gilgamesh goes live on April 20th.
I have enough.
Card art is dope. I love Tiamat in the background. He's got a nice slash that he's hit here as well. And this is the turnaround. This is the more purple vibe, right, AJ?
There you go. You know, historically the color of royalty in lots of other cultures, so made a good sense as a recolor for him. But you know, I think his default is the most historical. But then we explored a few others on the recolors, and then his card art for the mastery I'm really big fan of, because obviously with the color choice for mastery we don't have a lot of flexibility on the color choice for mastery, but we did get a little creative with the card art, which I really love.
Definitely, he's definitely flexing.
That's my favorite card art.
I know, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at the card art for the mastery.
Oh.
Watch the throne, everybody. He is
He's
just here chilling. That is sick.
Look, he looks like he wants to get out and adventure so bad. He's like, why did I have to come to this meeting?
That's right?
Too many
Story of my
life.
That's the king
Zoom
right
calls,
there.
Google Hangouts. I definitely feel you, Gilgamesh.
There's every moment where Enkidu's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't go fight Humbaba, and Gilgamesh is like, no, I want to fight. He's gonna go.
Right?
He doesn't have much choices early on.
So this is the golden, and then the legendary.
Yeah, the
black and gold,
legendary
my
is
favorite.
freaking
I gotta
dope
say it
as
every update show.
As always.
This one looks sick, and I believe we'll
One
have
of
the
my
diamond
favorites,
here in just a second to look at.
Nah, diamond
I'm
doesn't
loving
look
it. Oh, I love the
good.
treatment on the weapon there for the diamond skin as well.
Legendary. All the way.
All right, guys. Well, that is Gilgamesh. That is the king of Uruk. Any final words on Gilgamesh before we close out the show?
I mean, it was super fun to work on this character. It's such a historical figure, being able to like explore what he could do in Smite, making this kind of like lean, straightforward warrior kit was like super satisfying. And so I can't wait for you guys to play him on the PTS, which hopefully will be at some point soon.
Yes,
Friday.
PTS on Friday.
Friday.
Oh, I guess I think that's it for this video. Actually, we'll make a different video to talk about god changes and item changes. That hasn't been this many, but I think we'll make a separate video of it.
The whole year.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one.
I don't want to get too ahead.
I'm excited to play some Gilgamesh. I don't know how are you guys thinking about that one. Thanks again. I see you all in the next video.
and have bigger gameplay.